Hey guys, welcome to the video. So in this video, we would be doing a fundamental analysis of Axis Bank. So in this complete video, we would be going through its business. We would understand what exactly, what is the business which the company is involved in. Second, we will go through its financials, and at the end, we will see what are the positives and negatives which an investor can consider before taking a position into this particular stock. Starting off with the business, the bank got incepted in 1993. The bank was initially named as UTI Bank, and in 2007 the bank name was changed to Axis Bank. It is presently the third largest private bank, and it offers all kind of a basic and advanced banking services. The total deposits as of 31st March 2021 are 7 lakh 7.07 lakh crores. So out of which 45% is contributed as CASA deposits and 55% are of term deposits and recurring deposits. The total loan book of bank is around 6.23 lakh crores. Coming to deposit section, as I mentioned in the previous slide, 45% of deposits are of CASA deposits, that is current account, savings account deposits. So bank has higher profitability when its CASA increases. So it is a good number. 45% is a good number. Coming to loan books, around 54% of loan are of retail loans, whereas 46% is of wholesale loans. Wholesale loans consist of all corporate and SME loans. So this is also a 54% of loans being in retail segment is also a good number. Coming to its key subsidiaries, bank currently holds many subsidiaries, and out of which the well-known ones are Axis Capital, Axis Security, Axis Mutual Fund, Axis Finance, ATREDS, and Freecharge. And in all the subsidiaries, it holds a major shareholdings. It is a major shareholder in all the subsidiaries. Coming to shareholding pattern of this bank, around 13.58% of share are held by its promoters. Promoters include all LIC, UTI, and other major government insurance companies. And around 51% of its shares are held, bank share is held by FIS, that is foreign institutional investor. 23% is held by DIS, that is domestic institutional investor, whereas 11.72% is held by public investors. Coming to its financial, in 2017 the revenues were at around 45,175 crores, whereas in 2021 the revenues are at 64,696 crores. So on a 5-year CAGR basis, the revenues have grown at a pace of 7.45%. So this is a positive sign. Coming to net profits, in the year 2017, the net profits were at 3,967 crore, and in 2021, the net profits are at 7,252 crores. The revenues have increased on a 5-year basis, but if we see a complete chart, there were many bumps and humps in net profits. This is basically because there were many NPAs which the bank faced, due to which provisions were made, and that impacted its net profit figures. On a 5-year CAGR basis, the net profits on a 5-year CAGR basis is at around 12.8%. Coming to NPAs, in 2017 the gross NPAs were at 5%, whereas net NPAs were at 2.4%. In 2000 NPAs, the NPAs suddenly jumped. The net NPAs were at 6.77%, a jump of around 1.7%, and gross net NPAs were at 3.4%. So presently in 2021, the gross NPAs are at 3.7% and net NPAs are at 1.05%. So as you can see, the bank is trying hard to reduce its net NPAs. This is a good sign for an investor to consider. But as you see, still in 2021, the bank has around 1.05% of net NPAs. So this is a concerning factor for an investor. as well as for the bank. Coming to other key numbers, other key figures, the net interest margin currently is at around 3.53%. Return on equity is at around 7%. Net profit margin is at around 11.2%. Cost to income is at around 48%. EPS 24. Current price 750 rupee. So PE of this bank is 31 and sector PE is 29. So presently the stock is trading at a premium considering its sector PE. So coming to positives and negatives, positives for an investor to consider in this particular stock is its growing deposits, advances, and net profits. So all these figures are growing sequentially. Uh, Second positive is reducing NPS. As we saw in the previous charts that NPS are reducing year on year. This is a positive sign for an investor to consider. Third positive is its NIM, net interest margin, is currently at around 3.53%. So again, this is a manageable figure, acceptable number for an investor. The fourth positive is its CAR, that is capital adequacy ratio. Presently, the capital adequacy ratio is at around 19%, which is a pretty much good number. And the fifth positive is the last financial year, that is 21, was a good year for bank, so it is again a positive sign for investor. Coming to negatives, presently the gross NPAs are still at 3.7% and net NPAs are at 1.05%. Even though the NPAs are sequentially decreasing, but still these numbers are very large. 1.05% of net NPAs are very large. So this is a negative sign. The bad track of NPS. Second negative is its bad track of NPS. As we saw that previously, before 2 to 3 years, the bank accounted a large number of NPS. That was because of a bad analysis of credit. So going forward, we need to have a eye on how bank exactly analyze before issuing the credit. So this is again a negative sign for an investor to consider. Third negative is its cost to income. So the cost to income is for this bank is at around 48%. So this is very high number when compared to other banking companies. So other banks have almost around 40 to 42% of cost to income, whereas this bank has around 48%. So this is a high number and a negative sign. The fourth negativity is its low ROE, return on equity. So presently the return on equity of this bank is 7%, whereas its peer bank has around 11 to 15, 11, 12, 13% of ROE. So again, this is a negative sign for an investor to consider. So this was it for this video, guys. Hope this video was informative. Thank you.